Well, we just got some shocking economic data. PPI came in much lower than expected. This is the final nail in the coffin for the Fed to start lowering rates. We also have BlackRock. They're actually saying that the Fed should start lowering rates. We're seeing asset prices at all-time highs. Google, Amazon hitting all-time highs yesterday. And Bitcoin's breaking out right now. If you don't mind, though, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. Also, if you want to trade crypto, I've been saying it over and over. Now's a great time to trade because we've already seen a pullback. So there's a lot of extra margin of safety compared to a new all-time high. And we also have a lot of bullish news coming out. We have the Fed starting to reduce rates. We have one of the most bullish things happening for Bitcoin, which is the money supply going up. So check that out underneath the video. Let me turn down the air in the car so you don't have as much background noise. All right. The PPI just came out. I don't have the numbers directly in front of me, but if my memory serves me right, PPI year over year was 2.6 versus the expectation of 3.3, and core was something like 2.8 versus 3.5%. This is much lower than expected. This is also a leading indicator. I thought it was CPI that was coming out today, but I had that wrong. I had it flipped. CPI is coming out tomorrow. But honestly, at this point, I think PPI is more important than CPI. It is a leading indicator, so it's what producers pay for their products. So it gives us some indication as to what's going to happen over the next 3 to 6 months. So it came in much lower than expected, actually negative since last month. That's extremely bullish for rate cuts. Why is that? Well, inflation is coming down. Right? The leading indicator is showing that there's going to be less inflation in the future. And just yesterday, we had a jobs revision of almost 1 million jobs, the biggest in history. So the labor market is worse than expected. Inflation is actually lower than expected. So this gives the perfect opportunity for the Fed to start cutting rates. I would not even be surprised if we saw something like a 50 basis point cut. Last time I looked, it was like a 6 or 8% chance that we would see a 50 basis point cut at the next meeting. But even BlackRock, the BlackRock CIO, Chief Investment Officer, is saying that the Fed should start cutting rates, right? When BlackRock says to do something, usually people listen. So they are pushing for rate cuts just like President Trump. And now there's really no reason not to, right? The main danger is that the labor market gets away from us and we see the economy kind of crash, or we go through a tougher time because the rates are too high for too long. At the same time, we are seeing asset prices go up. High quality companies like Amazon and Google hit all-time highs yesterday. And I've been talking about this for a while, but those are my 2 largest holdings. I actually talk about that a lot in the Telegram because I've gone over my portfolio and what I'm buying on a weekly basis. And those are 2 of the companies that I've been dollar cost averaging into and that I bought really heavy during the dip back in April. So these high quality companies are going to get even stronger as time goes on because, well, this is the crazy thing about these companies. And I know this isn't crypto related necessarily, but honestly, I think this helps round out our portfolio. These are the most profitable companies, the largest moat companies. They'll have the best, or they'll have the best economics and the strongest balance sheet to weather a storm if there is some kind of bear market, right? These companies aren't going anywhere. So they're safest in the bear market. They'll still continue to grow. We saw that in 2022. They still had growing revenues and earnings per share. But then in a bull market, you're also going to take advantage more than a lot of other companies because they are direct beneficiaries of people getting money, right? Amazon, people spending more money or starting businesses using AWS, people buying Prime, that kind of stuff. On Google, you have the biggest advertising company in the world, or one of them. Same thing with Google Cloud. So they're going to boom in a bull market, and I feel like people are allocated to them, but maybe not heavy enough. They're not cyclical. They're not like some kind of I don't know, they're not some kind of big car purchase that's really interest rate sensitive. No, they're some of the highest quality companies in the world with the best products. I just heard the other day, and I haven't confirmed this, but I heard that Amazon Prime was going to start banning multiple household users. So kind of like Netflix did, they're going to get a lot more users very quickly, because I think Prime is probably one of the highest quality subscriptions out there. Like, I don't care really what the price is, unless it was maybe $1,000 a year. I'd pay whatever, if it was $300 a year, I'd pay for the Amazon Prime to get the quick shipping and everything like that, and free shipping. So anyways, these companies are doing fantastic. They're going to do even better if we go back into a raging, I don't want to say into a raging bull market, because we are in a bull market, but if we go back to a lower interest rate environment. Now, Bitcoin also breaking out here today, and I will apologize too if you see like these bags or I seem tired or anything like that. We went to a concert in a big city near us, and it wasn't even a concert. It was some podcasters that my wife really likes, and it was like a multi-hour drive. We came back into the I don't want to say the wee hours in the morning. I don't know how you say that. We came back like at 2 a.m., which I am not prepared for anymore. After being a father, I'm not ready to wake up or to stay up till 2 a.m. driving. But yeah, I wanted to get back to film this video for you, amongst, getting back for the baby and stuff. Bitcoin breaking out, 113,500 last time I looked. There will be some manipulation, so be ready for that. Like, there are going to be liquidations. There's going to be FUD at some point in the future. But right now, everything looks like really solid for Bitcoin. With the money supply going up, with lower rates in the future, people will go more risk on. Like, maybe you don't think about it this way, but a lot of wealthy investors, if they have, let's say, $5 million in a money market account at their financial institution, or some treasuries or something like that. Sorry, loud pickup truck next to me. If they're making, 4% on this $5 million, okay, that's what, 20 grand a year, I think? 5 million? No, that's 200 grand a year. All of a sudden that turns to 175, then 150, then 125. And you're missing out on potentially $500,000 in appreciation just from being market returns, right? Just from investing in the S&P 500. The other thing is, it's much more tax efficient to invest in these kinds of assets like Bitcoin or the S&P 500. I was talking to someone really successful recently, and I have a bit of a cash position because I was waiting to invest in something. And I was talking about the cash cushion I want to keep in case we go through a bear market or something. And he said, honestly, from a tax efficiency position, it's a really bad thing to use money markets. Like, you get 4%, sure, but you're paying tax on that. Let's say you're in the 40% tax bracket, or 37, but the 40 overall. Okay, your 4% is really what, like 2.4%? Like 2.4% is what actually goes in your pocket, compared to the S&P 500, where sure, you might get a little bit of a dividend yield, but for the most part, you're just holding on to it. It appreciates at 10%, so you're getting 4 times the return after taxes. So it is kind of crazy. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Bitcoin doing really well. I think this is a great opportunity to invest in Bitcoin before the next big run. Let me know your thoughts, though, underneath the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. By the way, check out BYDFi, BTCC, BLOFIN, BITUNIX, and WEEX underneath the video if you want to start trading now. See you soon. Bye.